Update. My sister convinced my parents to sign their house over to her and laughed. Now you have nowhere to live. I thought she had won, until the lawyer smirked and said, actually, that house was never theirs to give. When she heard who the real owner was, she collapsed in shock. My sister had no idea. I let out a slow breath. So what happens now? Mr. Reynolds' smirk widened. Now we have some fun. My sister's world started crumbling. I didn't go home that night. Instead, I stayed at a friend's place and let my lawyer handle everything. The next morning, he filed an official cease and desist order, preventing my sister from making any changes to the property. That meant no selling, no renovations, no moving in. And that's when she finally called me. I didn't answer the first 3 times. On the 4th call, I picked up. What the hell did you do? She screeched. I leaned back in my chair. What do you mean? She was furious. The lawyer just called me. He said I can't touch the house. He said it's not mine. I let the silence stretch just long enough to make her sweat. Then I said, that's because it never was. She went silent. You really should have checked the ownership before you pulled your little stunt, I continued. Because legally, that house has been mine for years. No, she whispered, that's not possible. Oh, it is. I have the papers to prove it. You see, Grandpa left it to me, not Mom and Dad, and definitely not you. Her breath hitched. I could practically hear her mind racing. No, that's a lie. That's not true. Mom and Dad didn't own it, I cut in. They thought they did, but they were wrong. I heard a small gasp on the other end. I wasn't sure if it was from shock or pure rage. Now, I said, my voice calm, you have 2 choices. 1, you admit you screwed up, back off, and we pretend this never happened. Or 2, I paused, you push your luck, and we take this to court. You wouldn't, she whispered. I laughed. Oh, I absolutely would. And trust me, if this goes to court, you're going to lose. For the first time in her life, my sister had nothing to say. She had spent so long playing her little games, twisting people against each other, manipulating our parents into giving her what she wanted. And now she was realizing she had lost before she even started. My sister's meltdown. The next morning, she showed up at my lawyer's office. She stormed in, red-faced and wild-eyed, demanding that something be done. She yelled. She threatened. She even tried to claim that I had somehow stolen the house. Mr. Reynolds just sat there, perfectly calm, letting her dig her own grave. Finally, when she had finished ranting, he leaned forward, tapped the legal documents on his desk, and said, I'd recommend you leave before you embarrass yourself any further. That's when it happened. She collapsed into the chair, her face going pale. For the first time in her life, she looked defeated. This isn't fair, she whispered. I crossed my arms. Neither is trying to steal a house from your own brother. She looked up at me, tears brimming in her eyes. But I already told people the house was mine. I made plans. I tilted my head. That sounds like a you problem. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. And that's when I knew, she had finally realized it. She had lost. The calm before the storm. For a few days, my sister went silent. No phone calls, no texts, nothing. I thought maybe, just maybe, she had finally accepted defeat. I should have known better. Because when people like her lose,